I was like, okay, well, what I'm going to do is just like make a bunch of money. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs have this where they Google, how do I make money? One thing I learned was you can't lead a horse to water and make him drink, and you can't send a boy to uni and make him think.
Success is guaranteed, but if you want that guaranteed success, one, you have to never give up, and two, you have to be willing to go for 4 or 5 years to get it.
Being rich is hard, being poor is hard. Just choose your hard. If you have a habit that you want to break, attach it with something bad, so then your brain connects that habit with pain. If you're not willing to do the work, then you shouldn't expect the result.
Together we have clarity, direction, and success way beyond what we ever previously thought possible. Here's your host, Frankie Lee.
First things first, guys, before we get started with this podcast, do me a solid favor and subscribe to this on whatever platform you're listening to it right now. Whether that's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I'd appreciate if you just hit that subscribe button, and it lets me know that the content that I'm putting out for you guys is hitting your ears at the right time. Much love. This podcast is sponsored by contentremoval.com. So whether you're looking to remove any images, videos, search results, fake Instagram accounts, get in touch with us at contentremoval.com. Right, we're back, guys. We're back. And this week, I have an episode for you that's going to absolutely bang on all levels. I'm super hyped to introduce this man to you. But before I do, a lot of e-commerce podcasts that I've done have been like with brands, and I've done some with people that have done dropshipping as well. But the reason why this one is going to be so crucial for all of you to listen to is because we're talking to a guy who since 19 years old has been massively financially free in life. He's got multiple stores. I've seen everything he's done, and not only that, I've seen firsthand in my living room. I watched him in 2.5 hours build a dropshipping store and a full brand from scratch, and we ran ads, and it scaled, and it was profitable. So before I introduce this guy, I wanted to make sure that you knew that before we got there. Lester Javelona, welcome to the podcast, mate.
Nice.
What's up?
Nice to be on here. This was meant to be 2 months ago,
mate. It's been probably about 2 or 3 months. I'd say I've been on at you about doing this, but I know podcasts aren't normally your thing, are they?
Yeah, I kind of like to be low key about everything.
Yeah, a lot of people in your space are low key.
Yeah,
but the reason why I wanted you to come on is because like what you've achieved by 19 years old, you know.
Yeah.
I know you're 20 now, but that's only just a recent thing. But by 19 years old, I saw, on a personal level, you had $1 million in the bank cash. You got other assets. You got stores turning over 18, 20, 30, 40 grand a day, multiple stores. There's a lot of people in ECOM that talk and dropshipping that talk about revenue numbers and talk about this, that, and the other. But I've fucking seen what you've done, and it's fucking impressive, man. And I think that this podcast is going to be so powerful because it's gonna join everything else that I've done on this podcast together. So everything that I've talked about with brands and everything I've talked about with previous people that have done dropshipping and that it was really fucking powerful for people. Yeah. But I think you can put the piece in the middle together and show people, like, you know, okay, yes, this can be achieved, but this is what's going to have to go into it. This is what's going to have to just even bring it even further down to the reality of like what you had to go through from a young age to get to this. Because it's easy to say you're 19 years old with this and this and this, but it's like, just give for them that have never heard of you, never seen what you've done. Where did it even begin for you? Like talk to me about you growing up and what it was like and why you even pursued e-com in the first place.
Yeah, so I've been in e-com, you could call it dropshipping, but I've been in it for about 5 years now. It started, actually, this is a bit of backstory, but in grade 8, I actually got expelled from my high school.
Yeah.
And I got expelled because I got in a fight with someone who was being like super racist to me. And I think as a kid, that's when it started. Like, that's when the drive started, because I'm not going to take shit from life. I'm not going to take shit from anyone. And that's when like that fight back mentality started.
Yeah.
And long story short, I got expelled, and obviously like Asian parents, they were like putting pressure on me, like, oh, what the fuck, you just messed up your whole school, your whole career. And they said like they worked hard, and now like you're going to amount to nothing because like you got kicked out of school. And I remember sitting there in my room, and I asked myself, did I mess up? Is that it? And I thought to myself, I thought of it logically. I was like, okay, well, what I'm going to do is just like make a bunch of money. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs have this, where they Google, how do I make money? And then back in the day, I was doing, I've pretty much done everything like to make money. I started off with this thing called swag bucks, where you like watch ads and get like a little bit of pennies.
Yeah.
And then I did a little bit of affiliate marketing. In 2018, I started a blog. I was in cryptocurrency in like 2017, but didn't pursue it. But I think the reason why I ended up with dropshipping and ECOM is that's what made sense to me. Because for anyone who doesn't know, dropshipping is just an inventory business model. It's not a scam, because a lot of people say like, oh, you're buying it for $10, you're selling it for 20, like you're a scammer. It's only a scam if you make it a scam. You don't send your products, you send fake products, dodgy products. That's the only way it becomes a scam. But at the end of the day, it's just an inventory business model. And a lot of people talk about brand building. And for me, with building brands, I build a brand. The only thing is I drop ship how I send it to the customer.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing more 3PLs because it's faster. You get better shipping times.
And 3PLs is like
third-party logistics.
Third-party
yeah.
logistics, yeah.
So I have a warehouse in the APEC region and EUA region, and that's just how we get it quicker, because at the end of the day, you start off with dropshipping, but the thing you start off with is not the thing that you end up with, because you always have to progress, you always have to advance. And yeah, so I think the fastest way for customers to receive their products was using better shipping times, better couriers. But so long story short, I went to other schools, and I think I just had that entrepreneur drive.
Yeah.
Like when you're a kid, you just have that drive where you just feel like you need to do something. Because a lot of people, like 90% of people, they just let life go with the flow.
Yeah, do fuck all.
Yeah, do nothing. Whereas for me, I couldn't do nothing. I had to do something with my life. And pretty much, so that was in grade 8. Zero success. Grade 9. Grade 10 was when I started dabbling into dropshipping. And
so this was still, so you were started to really get into dropshipping in your school, in your teen. So what would you be then, like 15, 16?
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
That was in grade 10. And then, so in grade 10, I was just going to like a normal public school because my parents didn't have a lot of money. I wasn't born in a super rich family or a super poor family.
You were based in Townsville, weren't you?
I'd say like we were middle class. Because mum was a receptionist at a hotel, dad was a nurse. Like they did everything to pay the bills and put food on the table. But the thing is that I just felt this urge that I need to do something with my life, and I need to like make my parents proud, because that's the culture I was raised in, where if you want something. My dad taught me this when I was a kid. He said, if you want something, you could go get it. Whatever it is, you could get it. You want a nice car, you want a nice house, you want to live in a nice place, you could go get it. You just have to be willing to work for it.
Yeah.
And so in grade 10, I got a job grade 9, I got a job at McDonald's because I was finally old enough to work. And grade 10, and I had this perception that I needed to go to school still to be successful.
So even though you knew that going out to work to earn some money and to start making money move in your life was a good thing, you were still like, because of maybe the Asian parents kind of thing, where a lot of the Asian parents want their son to be a doctor, or they put this kind of pressure that they keep you indoctrinated in that that cycle, that system where it's like go to work, go to school, get a job, and get a mortgage and start to live life in debt, but the wrong kind of debt.
Yeah, well, I just realised from an early age, like, that's not for me. And I realised as well, I think I read this somewhere, it's like, your children aren't your retirement fund and your parents aren't your fallback. And I was like, that's so true.
Such a powerful statement.
Because, so, anyway, I was, grade 10, I was working at McDonald. And I said to myself, Mum, I want to go to a private school, because I thought I need to go to a private school.
To get a better education.
To get a better education, yeah. And a lot of my friends, because I was just addicted to people who were successful. Like, I'd stalk people locally and like try to figure out like how did they come to this amount of success.
So when you say that, were you looking at success as like the nice car, the nice house? Yeah. That's how a lot of people perceive success too.
Your typical child, they'll look at like the smoking mirrors, especially like the Instagram.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty much I was just fascinated with successful people. And I thought, okay, well, I need to get a good education, because that's what my parents taught me. You need to get a good education if you want to be something in life. So I asked Mum, can you get me into this private school? She said no, she can't afford it, which is fair, because my parents support their family overseas and they're like barely getting by. So Mum tried to take out like a loan to pay for my school, but
because you've asked her for and she wants to provide for her son.
Yeah. And she tried her best, but like my parents are bankrupt, so they couldn't get a loan or anything. And that's when I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to go pay for it myself. And that was when I was working at McDonald's, $10.60 an hour. And I was like if you work out the math, it's like over 500 hours just to pay for like your school fees is pretty crazy. But
you did all that?
Yeah, I did it. And then in 2018, I moved to the private school. And I think at the start when I moved there, because like when you meet new friends, and that's why I'm super selective with who I hang out with now. Because back then, like obviously it's high school, like you bully kids and then you have fun, you go out partying. You don't really do any work because like that's the cool thing to do. But what a lot of these kids don't realize is the cool thing to do isn't always the right thing to do. You have to do what like your internal self wants to do.
Yeah.
And whenever the weird thing is, every time I get strayed away from my passion, like the universe just has this like magic thing where it just like drives me back. What was?
Give me an example of a way that you've been brought back into line and a way that you got offline recently.
Recently, okay, so I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but in July, I crashed my car.
Yeah, I saw.
So I don't know if you saw, but like the past 2 weeks before I crashed my car, I was down in the Gold Coast partying, having fun, kicking back, and
didn't I message you around this point?
You did.
What did I say to you? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I think I was.
Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I remember messaging you when you were going through this stage in your life.
Yeah.
Saying, and I seem to do, I did this in another situation in your life recently, and I think I told you before the podcast in relation to some other businesses that you were going into. I'm like, mate, stay on your course.
Yeah.
Stay your course. Do, it's not about, you are doing really well and you're doing some good shit. Like when you're doing some good shit, I understand you're 20 years old. Yeah. But you don't need to be fucking with this shit.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. The Lambo stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so in 2018 I was trying to get different businesses started, different dropshipping stores. So what I would do is, because obviously I had to put money aside to be able to fund these stores. So what I'd do is I'd work at McDonald's. I was working crazy shifts back then, like 30 hours a week, and then school. So my schedule would be, I wake up at 8 o'clock, I go to school by 9, and then from 9 to 3 I'm at school. And like in between school, a lot of people know this as well that I went to school with, I'd go in the library sometimes and I'd just learn, because that's what I thought I needed to do. I was learning too much, more about that later. But what I did was I'd like work on my business in school as well, and then like word would get around like, oh, Lester's starting a business, and
was there any like bullying on the back of that?
Yeah.
I thought there would be.
About to get to that. So and then 9 to 3 I went to school, and then 3 to 11 pretty much every single weekday I'd work at McDonald's, and it was crazy because I was working at McDonald's, and then obviously people knew I was starting a business, and then like some girls from my school like saw me working there, and they'd laugh at me and be like, oh, like why is he working at McDonald's when he's like starting a business? Because like most of them because it's a private school, most of them pretty privileged kids, and little do they know like I'm trying to pay for my education.
Yeah, you're trying to move things forward for you, and in order for you to do that, you was funding your schooling through working yourself and working all these hours.
Yeah.
And did you find though, by putting yourself in a private school, it allowed you to get better connections for when you left school?
Not at all. So what I found is the private school and the public school completely the same. I don't know if it's because obviously like maybe it's more different in bigger cities. I was in Townsville, but I think it was the same because at the end of the day, it's just a school. Most schools are the same. There's like the cool kids, there's like the nerds, the fucking bullies, the cool girls, the boring girls. Like I think it's all the same social dynamic. But yeah, so that was in grade 10, and then I was doing photography on the side as well, and I was also flipping scooter parts, like, you know, the little scooters. Yeah. And a lot of people that message me right now, like, they're always like, oh, I remember you when you were in the skate park, like hustling people for like scooter parts. Because I think I've just always had like that hustler mentality.
So it's something that's always burnt deep within you.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe then with a lot of people who want to do dropshipping, who want to start in ECOM, maybe it's a case of them sitting down with themselves and actually understanding first and foremost if they have the burning desire to do it, because there's a lot of barriers to push through.
You need to have, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to your philosophy. What do you believe in? Do you believe that this is for you? Because I've worked with a lot of people. I've tried to help a lot of people because it's just my passion project to help people succeed. I don't sell a course. I don't, most of the time I don't charge people except recently. But back when I was up and coming, I didn't charge anyone for anything. I was helping as many people as I could.
You've always helped me and showed me bits and stuff like that, and hopefully I've given you help on the return in a different aspect of life. But it's that is another fundamental reason why I wanted you on here, is because you don't sell. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's all value with you.
Yeah. Like obviously you've seen my Shopify results. They're not screenshots, they're live results. Like I can show you a live result right now.
Go on. Show the camera a live result. Go on.
Oh, this
is why
I just have to cover anything.
Yeah.
But I'll show you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's 27K.
Yeah.
Show you it's a live Shopify, obviously. 27 visitors right now.
Yeah.
I need to try and cover the store.
Yeah.
So obviously, like we did 27K in sales today.
That's held up to the camera right now.
That's probably like 20% margins.
And that's margins. One store out of how many at the moment?
That's probably 4 stores that are running right now.
So is that a high grossing store?
It's the highest right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so what would you say total on 4 stores you're doing at the moment?
Probably 30-40K a day.
30-40K.
And that's 20-30% margins depending on the day.
Right. So you in your pocket, obviously excluding taxes and all that stuff, but after you ship the product, this, that, and the other, per day, what's in your pocket?
Well, most of it is the business money.
Yeah, the business money, but like, you know what I mean? What's in the business's pocket? Like 10 grand a day?
Yeah, probably around that.
10 grand a day. So at this moment in time, you're doing 300K a month.
Yeah.
In the business's pocket. Obviously, you've got to pay tax.
Staff as well.
So you'll probably look after you've paid your tax, your staff, and all that stuff. What would you say, like 100 in the business making profit
after you've paid 200?
200.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. That's some serious numbers, isn't it, for 20 years old?
Yeah, but it's weird because no matter what figure I push, no matter what number I do, I feel within myself it's not enough.
Why is that?
I think it's just the person I am. I want to keep going. I want to push.
The one thing I've always noticed about you is it's not really about the number. You just enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
It's the same with me in this, mate.
Yeah.
You know this lights me up.
Oh, yeah.
You can see
100%.
it fucking lights me up.
Yeah.
There's plenty. Look, I could make a fucking shit ton of money if I wasn't doing this right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But I just believe in the long term of this. I believe that all that will flow to me when it's right with this, and I can do what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll just keep other balls in the air to fund this while I'm rolling down the road.
Yeah.
But it's so important that when you find that thing for you, like ECOM to you and this to me, that you fucking lean into it.
Yeah.
And you just go balls deep into it, and you don't. Every fucker will have an opinion on it. Every fucker will have an opinion on it. Every time I see you looking at something else, I fucking message you or voice note you, and I'm like,
don't do it.
Stop fucking doing that.
Yeah.
Just stop
That's
it.
The thing.
Because you need to be held accountable, and I need the same. Like, if I start looking at fucking something stupid, I need to be brought back into line as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's what I was saying before. I think I don't know. It's weird. I'm like a big universe type of person, and I think the universe like will use you or someone and just tell me like, just get back on what you're good at. Get back to your bread and butter.
But what was you were going to tell me what the most recent time that happened to you was? Yeah. Yeah. What?
So it was
because you crashed a car, and then you were saying that was the reason you got brought back on track, and was that just because?
So how I got brought back on track was obviously I crashed the car, but it just like showed me that I'm not invincible, because I was having a lot of good months, good profitable months, and I was spending like a dog. Yeah. But I felt invincible, but it kind of just brought me back down to earth. And that was like, okay, look, because I've got so many, I call them omens. I don't know if you've read the book The Alchemist.
Not The Alchemist, no, I haven't.
So
I'm gonna have to read that.
It talks about omens, and it's like it's a sign. And I got a lot of like signs that I need to get back at what I'm good at. But I guess obviously it's also your friend group.
Yeah.
So back then it wasn't really a good friend group. It was more of like
acquaintances. Yeah,
acquaintances, and it is because I just moved to Brisbane. But anyway, back to my story. Or more about the people I was helping before when I was like up and coming. One thing I learned was you can't lead a horse to water and make him drink, and you can't send a boy to uni and make him think.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. That's a fucking good quote.
Yeah,
is that an original?
No,
the uni and not think one.
I might have read it somewhere, but
I've heard the horse to water and drink. Obviously, like there's a lot of people going through that. But when you just to go back a second, when you crashed the car, I was like, fucking hell, bro, like, please, bruv, just fucking rein it in, man. Like, so you don't need to be everywhere. I want to say this to you, right? And I say it to you on the end. I say it to you off air as well. But like, you walked in my apartment one day and you were covered top to toe in drip, right? Drip. I think it was like Balenciaga's Gucci shirt, fucking this, that, and the other. And I'd noticed you'd constantly been going out to all these shops, and there's nothing wrong with these shops. I understand that buying designer is art and it's pieces, and you deserve it, and I'm not disputing that. But I thought, fuck me, bro, like, you don't need to be in there every 2 days buying shit, because you're doing well. Like, you don't need how much designer do you need? It was my thought process. I mean, I don't know how you thought about that at the time. I know it's some kind of passion of yours, but did you ever get to the point where you're thinking, fuck, I'm going in here for no reason?
So this is like, it's kind of vain, but the only reason why I like to buy a lot of designer is, well, first of all, like, it was kind of my upbringing.
Because you didn't have them. Because you didn't have the money.
Yes, but also because, my parents pedestalized it. They put it on a pedestal where,
right, okay,
like, she's got a Gucci bag.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you subconsciously got that in your mind now.
But what I did was I built around it. So what I did was 10% of whatever I make, I'm going to spend
on designer.
On anything.
Yeah.
That's 10% of my salary, not the business money. The business money is the business money because I just work for my business. But what I did was I read this in The Richest Man in Babylon where you put different categories as to what you spend stuff on. So 10% I spend. Another 10% I give to, because I support a local church in Townsville. It's like a little Filipino church.
Yeah.
But the reason why you want to have money that you spend is because you're going to have that urge.
Yeah.
You're always going to have that urge. But you have to be smart with how you spend it. So what I did was 10%, whatever it is, I have to spend it. End of the week, I have to spend it.
Yeah.
On whatever.
I love that. And I think that's something that we should all put in our lives. So, because the only thing I was like, looking from the outside in, because I saw for like a whole month on Instagram, it's like designer stores. I'm like, bro, like
10, 20, 30K.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I get it, but I'm like, can you just build 6 more fucking successful Shopify stores and then send me the screenshot and then go there again? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted you to be in the game, because I think that was a part of the time when you were kind of like out getting a bit off the track as well. Do you know what I mean? Because let's just put it into context as well, guys, for everyone that's listening as well. Lester's 20, right? 20 now, yeah. This we're talking about when he's like 19, early when he was 19. This was, and to be turning over 300k at 19, and to be as mature as what you actually are is fucking phenomenal. Credit to yourself.
Thank you.
Credit to yourself, mate. Because most 19-year-olds I know that make that kind of wedge, they do the fucking hockey stick, and then they fucking fall off the face of the world. Yeah,
because another thing is, I was talking to you about this a while. I think the first time we met, I was talking like I really want to buy like a supercar. And I only had $1 million back then. Obviously, I can't really finance anything because like I've got 1-2 years of company history, so I can't finance like a supercar. But I really wanted a supercar. I was telling you that. And like I was considering spending like half of my whole net worth on a supercar, but it's silly.
Why didn't you?
So I didn't, because I thought of it logically. Like, I'm going to spend half of this on a car that's probably going to depreciate in value. Yeah. And it just doesn't make sense.
What did I say to you? I'm sure I would have said something.
I remember you said it's all bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like me.
Yeah.
Mate, because I've got quite a few friends that have supercars. And I've been in quite a few supercars, and a few of my mates in England have done very fucking well.
Yeah.
And they're just... if you can, like, for me on a personal level, 500k in Australia on a Lambo, or $500,000 into ads for my podcast to help more people. You tell me what makes more impact in the world right now.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it, bro.
Yeah,
it's like I'm going to get much more fulfillment from another 10,000 people sending me a message on Instagram telling me that their life's changed when they listen to my content than I'm ever going to get by sitting in a Lambo on my own with some hot chick of that week. And that's my thought process. And I thought that's why I believe it's like I might get one in the future.
Yeah, same. But
right now your capital is better spent on building more assets that earn you more money so you can help more people, right? That's the way that's kind of the road I was thinking of.
It was actually really convenient because during that time I really wanted to buy one, and like there's like ways you could get like loans for it, but it's like high interest. But one of my friends, Eli Dangerfield, he like taught me to delay that gratification because like he's got millions in the bank and he just drives a 200k car. Like, he could go buy a McLaren, but he chooses not to because he knows that... he taught me this a while ago. He explained it really well. I can't really explain it well now, but it was that if you buy it now, then you're telling yourself that you could just, like...
Ease off the gas.
Yeah,
Ease off the gas.
And a reason why a lot of people start slowing down is, you've got your foot on the gas, but you've also got your foot on the brake.
That's so fucking true, mate.
And when you don't realise that your foot's on the brake and you're like, oh, I'm not moving.
Yeah. The worst thing a 20-year-old could have, 19, 20-year-old could have, is a Lamborghini. Yeah. Because that tells you that you've already had success when really you've not even started on what you could actually fucking achieve. Yeah,
definitely.
If you think about it, if you can get X amount and start and do this by 20 years old, where could you be by 30? If you, now, it's not to say that you can't. If you want a Lambo, just hire one for a week, bro. Yeah. They're cheap enough to hire.
We're doing that next week.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You hire it, you get the buzz out of it, you hand it back, you get back to work. Yeah. You get back to working on what you should be working on.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, one thing I was doing really bad was I was putting it on a pedestal. Because, like, especially with designer, like, I'd be like, oh shit, like, I'm copying a designer shirt. But I looked at it logically. At the end of the day, it's a shirt, it has a price. And my 10% needs to be able to cover that if I'm going to spend that. Otherwise, I'm not going to spend it.
Yeah, I love the way that you've put these things in place so that you can obviously move. Because I personally believe that with the success that you're having, you should be able to reward yourself along the journey. Yeah, like that's the whole point. That's the whole point in creating vast amounts of capital and wealth in your life and abundance, is to be able to share it with your family, share it with your friends, buy yourself nice things, reward yourself, and look after the people you want to look after. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of what you're doing.
It's good to stay grounded. Also, so 2018 was like when I was working at Macca's and I was in grade 11. And then 2019 was when I found my first big success with dropshipping, ECOM. And that's when I'm pretty sure the middle of the year, I hit my first 100K month.
How many things failed though before you? Because it's easy.
I had 8 failed stores before my first store that made, I think, around 10K.
Right. Yeah. And then how many stores between that 10K store and you doing the 100K one?
Fuck, probably 10, 20.
Yes.
Because the thing is, if you want to succeed, the formula for success is double your rate of failure. That's all it is. Because when you think about it, like, statistically, you could only fail so many times before you succeed. And like it was on your podcast before, it only takes one good thing to succeed. Yeah. You only need to get it right once enough.
All Abdullah did, essentially, at the time, because that's the podcast you're talking about, is he took a model that was being done to death in Australia, done to death in the US, done to death in the UK, and he's gone, fuck it, I'll just write it all in Arabic and I'll throw it into a country where there's no competition. Yeah. And that's boom. He done 400K in a month because he went into a market. He took all the lessons and then just put it into a market that had zero competition. So there's a blue ocean. He did the blue ocean strategy. He put it into a blue ocean, and that's essentially when you have to go through all them little nuances to get to it. I mean, look, let's just talk about quickly. I watched you build a Shopify store in 2.5 hours, full brand. Right, we won't talk about in the child niche. We'll just talk about the child niche. I watched him build it in front of my eyes. Watched the whole lot. Screen recorded it. Wizardry, right? All the apps, the store, right? This was a fully working Shopify store, fully branded up with the product, with the email auto sequence, with everything done on it. Like everything was done. SMS marketing, the whole fucking lot. Everything was banging, right? We launched it, and the Facebook ads set up too. The Facebook ad account and the Facebook ad set up. This is all in 2.5 hours on it, bro. Like legit. I thought this is fucking impossible. Yeah. He showed me it in front of my eyes, right? So we sat there and we just spent 2.5, and my brain was like fried at how much I'd seen. And we launched the ads. Yeah. And then I wake up next day and it's like one sale, and then I was out. That was the first time I woke up to a ding, and I was
Cha-ching,
and I was like, that's the first time I've ever heard that noise because I've never been in the ECOM space. Anyway, I was at the gym and I was doing some boxing on the bag, and I was like, ding ding, done 3 sales, and you'd also set up an upsell. Boom. But then everything was going so well, and I thought, this is brilliant. I'll just keep putting. I'll go from 1K to 2K ads. I'll go from 2K to 4K. I'll go from 4K to 8K. I'll go from, you know, because I didn't understand this whole game, right?
Yeah.
And then Facebook slapped us.
Yeah.
And then you realize in that moment what Facebook were like, boom, because Facebook doesn't like drop shipping stores. Essentially, they slapped us. They shut the ad accounts down, and then you start to lose your momentum because you gotta obviously get new ad accounts, this, that, and the other, set up new pages, all this stuff. And this is where people would quit.
Yeah.
Because and it slowed me down no end. Like I'm still trying to fucking get it working now.
Well, the thing is, you can quit or you can keep going. Both are hard. You just have to choose your hard.
Yeah.
It's like somebody told me this ages ago. He's like, being rich is hard. Being poor is hard. Just choose your hard. Because just because you have money or you don't have money doesn't mean you don't have problems.
Being rich is hard. Being poor is hard too. I love that. Choose it. That's so fucking, mate. It's profound, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah.
Because, mate, you know, I came here with a bag of clothes and $6,000 fucking 8 years ago. It's been a long journey to set up a network of friends, to set a network of people, to put roots down. Everything, you know, I've been broke twice in Australia.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. People want to get rich, but they don't want to get rich slow.
Yeah.
Like, look at the big CEOs now, like Davey, for example. It's not like he came out of nowhere. He just recently started being super social, but he was working in the background for years. Yeah,
Davey Fogarty's a wizard, bro.
Years and years, yeah.
He's a wizard. He's a wizard because at the end of the day, he's got a company now that turns over like 300, 400 million a year.
Yeah. And like when I showed you a while ago when I hit my first million, that took me 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah, and to me, and do you know the most important thing that I want people to understand as well? Me and you are mates, right? Mm-hmm. You're 20.
Yeah.
I'm 33 years old.
Yeah.
You've taught me things, right? Mm-hmm. When you were 19 years old, you taught me things. I was listening to you when you was 18 years old, right? That's what you have to be willing to do.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to listen to people that are younger than you.
Yeah. Because
even they might know things that you don't know. It's very humbling to do that.
Yeah.
Very humbling. Not many people are willing to do that. But we all need to understand that it's people like Lester, and Lester will be, he might want to have a TikTok strategy on one of his e-com stores, and he might have to listen to a 15-year-old now.
Oh yeah.
This is how the humbleness evolves.
Yep.
We all need to be prepared to listen to people that are vastly younger than us.
Yeah, you have to learn from anyone, because you either get busy learning or you get busy dying.
Yeah. And
if you're not learning, you're dying.
What were some of the things though that were the most helpful for you? I mean, with everything that you've done, would you say the execution of just like trial and error has been the most powerful thing to you? Or would you say that reading books, looking at YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff was the more powerful element to allow you to have the trajectory you've had?
So for the trajectory, I think the most important thing was figure out your why. Why are you doing it? What's the reason? Because unless you figure out your why, then you don't know why you're doing this. And like the reason why a lot of people can't get up in the morning is they've lost their why.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like I was like this for a while, where I just couldn't get up in the morning because I lost my why.
Was this before you'd made money or after you'd made money?
Before and after.
Right. So again, you're choosing your hard, aren't you?
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
in that situation. So what were the steps that you put in place though to find your why? Because obviously
what I do is like a little strategy.
Yeah.
I write down all the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm starting a business, why I want to make money, why I want to be successful. I write down all those reasons and I put in a hat, and then I leave it. And whenever I'm doubting myself, I'll go pick one out. I'll go read it to myself and reaffirm why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that strategy there and I won't put that one back. I'll go get a different one after, and then I'll keep adding to it as well. Because the reason why you do that is most of the time you forget your why, and a lot of times when people are ungrateful is because they're not practicing gratitude. So I learned this from I don't know if you know Benjamin Hennock.
No, I don't.
The wash it guy, Emil's friend with the jet.
No, I don't know him.
Yeah, so I met him on Instagram, and I was like, this guy's insane. He's bought a jet. He's got a Rolls Royce. And then that's when I started analysing, okay, what's he doing that I'm not doing? And he's like singing like Fly Away on the car, and he's just like, he just sings all the time, plays games, has fun. And what I realised was he was practicing gratitude. So what I do as well is I have a mental cue in my head. So what I recommend to people is have a mental cue where that's when you just go. So I listen to a song, I'll sing along with that song. It's like my hype song. And then that's when I know every time I go into the office, I'll listen to that song, and then I'm ready to go.
So you've got one song that gets you in the mood to be grateful about the fact that you're even in the apartment that you're in that you've got the wealth that you've got, and you're building the shit that you're building, and you just feel into all that gratitude, and then you just fucking on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people try to supplement that with like nootropics, caffeine, and they try to like take, like I'm drinking water right now, they try to take a lot of caffeine or like little biohacks to like get themselves going. But the best way to get going is have that mental cue in your head. And then when you stop working, what I do is whenever I see myself not working, I don't have my phone when I'm in the office. I'll bring another phone, and then that phone will be like my business phone, no social media or anything. Because you also have to design your environment for the result you want. So another thing I do is the moment I catch myself slacking off, I'm out of the office. Because your brain has like a memory with its environment. It's like a battery where it knows like this environment is where I work. It's like when you go to bed. That's why you can't work on your bed. Like try work on your bed, you'll fall asleep. Because your brain's got that mental cue of bed, sleep.
Yeah.
Which is why for me, office, work. And never mix the two. Which is why I got an office, because like when I'm at home, I'm like gaming too much or like having fun, chilling, kicking back. Which is why like it's good to invest in yourself. Like when you have a bit of money, maybe go get an office, get a space where you could work. But it's always good to also analyze your workflow and take notes, which is why another key thing, like first thing's reading, second thing's meditating.
Yeah, you know, I do a lot of breath work and meditation, bro. I did it before this podcast to set, because I knew this podcast was going to pop. Think of how you use your time as well. So a lot of people say I don't have time to meditate. Okay, meditate for 5 seconds. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just meditate 5 seconds. That's it. Because 5 seconds of meditation is better than no meditation. 5 pages of books is better than no books or no reading. You just have to figure out what are you going to put your time in. The easiest reading habit to set right now is 10 pages a day.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'd say the opposite. I think the best thing to do, especially for people who...
Or even 1 page a day.
Who hate reading. Read 1 word. 2 words. 3 words. Because the thing is, once you get up and you start doing it, it's hard to stop doing it. That's why I do this thing where, like my girlfriend knows this, I count down from 5. And whenever she catches me slacking, she'll count me down from 5. 5, 4, 3, and once you hit 3, that's when you're up. You get up, 2, 1.
How important then has it been for you to have a woman in your life that keeps you accountable to yourself?
Yeah, so I try to keep like business and like my personal life separate. My girlfriend's really good because she encourages me to be a better person. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, but in essence, how have you aligned yourself with a girlfriend at your age that just gets it in terms of like when he's working,
yeah,
on his purpose, on his shit, and when he's not working, he's not working.
I think I've made that really clear to her, and she understands it. And what's good is she supports me with it, because she won't ever like. It's funny because I had friends over, and one of my friends was like, oh, your girlfriend's so good because like my girlfriend will just be all over me while I'm working. But it's good because she supports me, and at the end of the day, you need someone who supports you and who knows your mission.
This is why I'm so big on alignment of energy and alignment of purpose. Like when you know who you are as a man, and when you've got this why behind you, and when you've grounded yourself in what you're fucking here for, then you can attract the person into your life that suits what you're trying to achieve.
The thing is, a lot of guys as well distract themselves with pleasure. So they'll go hit up all these girls, go have all these like girlfriends and whatever. And at the end of the day, like, it's not productive. I feel like the right person will come into your life as long as you're on your purpose. The right person will pop up.
Yeah.
And it was funny because like that timing was really good because I recently got out of a relationship, and so that was in 2020. Like I was pretty much out of ECOM for 6 months because like
because you were fucked in the mentals because of
nobody really knows this. Like, but I took a huge break off social media because like I really liked this girl, but she didn't like me, and I was like doing everything to understand like why does she like me? Like I got money, I got the business, I got all this stuff. But, like, at the end of the day, you're just not compatible. And now, like, I'm so quick to cut people off. Friends, family, whoever. I'll cut them off if they don't benefit me life-wise. Like, if you're taking my energy, then I'm cutting it off straight away because, like, I only hang out with people, like I said with you before, like, you give me energy, which is why I like hanging out with you because you give me energy.
No, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate you saying that. Anyone
else I hang out with, I make sure that are they giving me energy or are they taking energy away from me?
Yeah, bro. Like I've done a dramatic reassessment of everything in the last few months. The last 12 for me have been a massive growth and learning curve. One of the biggest learnings I've had have been around like being around the right kind of have the right kind of woman in your life at the time.
Yeah.
One that is aligned with if they're trying to not get away from you, but if they're not right for you and that parting is happening on you know the one where it's like it parts and then you come back and you part. It's just like, you know, sooner you can get out of that space and just and be more on purpose as a man. You don't have to worry about it. That there's plenty of beautiful women in the world, plenty of beautiful men for the women out there as well that will be attracted to you and that will come into your life at the right time. But it's more about becoming comfortable within yourself. The fact that you've done that I know I keep saying at your age, but it's like it's very powerful for me, mate. Because you got to understand, a lot of the stuff that you're understanding now is taking me fucking another 10 years on top to understand. And I only started reading at 26 years old.
Well, I only started reading at 16 years old.
Yeah.
It was crazy because I did my first $1 million in sales before even reading a book.
It's fucking mad, isn't it?
Because I like to follow the 80-20 rule. My 80-20 rule, personally, is 80% work, 20% thought. So what I do is I organize my days as well into work days and action days. So like work is and learning days. So learn, action, and I alternate between the two.
And this is so powerful for you guys to listen to, because what Lester's just said there is the fact that and just take this for an example. If he wants to learn a new strategy for marketing on Facebook, he'll learn it off YouTube or learn it off wherever he's learned it from the day before, and then he'll action that content that he's just taken in while it's fresh in the mind the day after.
Yep.
And so many of us out there are reading books at the wrong time for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are taking on all this content at the wrong time for our ears and not using it on the back of taking it on.
A lot of people as well, they say, oh, I don't know enough to start something, or I don't I need to learn more. But like what I learned from Jesse was you just do it. Like you don't have a logo, you don't have a fucking name or whatever, just do it. If you have an idea in your head, execute the idea, figure out all the stuff afterwards. Because the person who executes, even if he does just one thing, beats the guy who's just thinking all the time. And like me and my friends had a lot of old friends like this, where the reason why we realized they failed was they just think too much. Like there's this new strategy, there's this new like method, this new like they're looking for the secret thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, go fucking make the secret thing. It's like the tunnel analogy. Like, don't wait for the light at the end of the tunnel. Just fucking light it up yourself.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why I don't follow other people's podcasts on Instagram. It's like there's no fucking growth there for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to ever think of an idea because it's been given to me by another podcast on how they do it and be influenced by that, because I'm just trying to really feel into my own shit and really execute on that, like what you're saying.
Another thing is, like, when you learn something from someone, what you should do is don't copy that, whatever you just learned. Think of it first. Think of your perspective, because it has to match your philosophy at the end of the day. And the thing is, like, if it doesn't match your philosophy, you shouldn't change your life to just because, like, you learned this, like, new thing off this person.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously, like, how you get distracted and then you start, like, going the wrong path. But, so that happened a lot in 2019. So 2019 was when I found, like, I was in grade 12. I found a lot of success, but I was still working at McDonald's. Anyway, I quit at the start of the year. And it was ironic because when I quit, I got this huge payment hold. Because obviously, like...
Yeah, was that from PayPal or was it from Shopify?
No, it was from Shopify. It was from Stripe, actually.
Yeah.
And they were holding $200K of my money. And the rest of my money I had to use to fulfill orders. And that was on hold for 180 days. Which was crazy because I was like, shit, I've got all these orders to fulfill. I just quit my job. And I didn't know what to do. So it was cool because what I did instead was I made another store. And I took that risk. On top of that, I had to pay my school fees. So I had that money aside for my school fees that I put aside ages ago, and I was like, fuck it. This month, this was in July, and in August, September was when I had to pay for my school fees. In August, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to use that money to go try and make as much money back as possible and keep my business flowing. And worst comes to worst, I can't pay my school fees, and then my mom was like telling me you get kicked out. And like,
it doesn't really matter right now, to be honest, mum.
as a kid, I was like, shit, I'm gonna get kicked out of school. It's gonna be like super embarrassing. But then I thought to myself, like, I don't give a fuck what people think, because at the end of the day, that's what I love doing. So I risked it, and it's funny because I was selling these. I don't know if you've seen the yellow projectors, the little mini ones.
Yeah. The ones that project onto the ceiling.
Yeah. So, anyway, long story short, I ended up making my money back, just enough to pay my school fees and have a little bit.
And it was through them yellow projectors.
Yeah. And
what did you make on them yellow projectors, just out of interest?
200-300K revenue.
At a 30%.
Off 5K. The margins were way higher then. It was probably
no shit, bro.
Margins.
5K.
Yeah.
40% margins. Mm-hmm. 5K into 300.
Yeah.
You kept rolling. Kept rolling.
But the thing is,
You're a wizard.
I got that confidence, right? And then in September, because like my grad was coming up, like I was prepared to like ball out for grad. I wanted the best suit, best everything. And I was like buying all that shit. But the thing is, like obviously, the reason why most people fail is they stop doing what got them to the success. And the thing is, the way to succeed is keep doing what got you there.
And this is my problem, right?
Yeah.
I just believe, right, and this isn't a jab at anybody, but if you can make vast amounts of money, or you have made vast amounts of money in e-commerce, why would you go into courses? It's so much more of a headache. Just fucking keep fucking pumping your e-com stores and keep building new brands and new this and new that, and just keep pumping them.
Yeah.
It just otherwise you've got too many balls in the air, because now you've got to run this over here where you're teaching people how to do it, and you've also got to still have success in e-com.
Yeah.
But you've got half the time for both.
It was funny because one of my mentors, Gabriel, back in the day in like 2019, he actually got a lot of backlash because he was making more money off his course than ECOM, like dropshipping, because like he was still doing $1 million with dropshipping, but like his course just ended up making more because at the end of the day, a course, all it is it's a digital product, and it's a high value digital product that you could sell for $1,000, $2,000.
Yeah,
and that's all a course is. But a lot of people, like they'll sell courses without like knowing anything. Now, I don't have a problem with courses. I try to find the value in everything.
Courses have a lot of value, but it's just that there's a lot of talented people in e-commerce that do courses that are good courses.
Yeah,
they're good courses, but they're fucking better at e-com. Stick with fucking e-com.
Yeah,
like what are you doing a course for? Do e-com.
Yeah,
you're better at e-com. The course is good, but you're fucking legendary at e-com.
Yeah,
do e-com.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, a lot of people, once it doesn't start working, then they'll like. It's like the gold analogy. So you're digging for gold. Once you can't find gold, they start selling shovels.
Right. Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, there's always that person who will buy the shovel and think that there's still gold in there. And that's the thing with dropshipping. There's still gold. People are still making money dropshipping. At the end of the day, all dropshipping it's an inventory business model. It's how you handle your inventory. What you're doing is e-com, and what you're doing is selling products online. And everyone needs products.
Yeah, this is why when people always want to chase the boom.
Yeah,
like NFTs, cryptocurrency, this, that, and the other. Now, of course, I put a lot of my spare cash flow after I've paid all my other shit and done my marketing and all that stuff. I put a lot of my parked money in crypto.
Yep.
Cool, but if I had an e-commerce vehicle right now, I'd rather put my money in e-com in an e-commerce store that generated returns I could keep flipping my cash into.
Yeah.
That's like literally like guaranteed by the time you've got the return rolling around, than to put it into cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Because people got to understand that when you put your money into your own store, like what you're talking about, you've got obviously I know there's outside things that can slap you, Facebook, rah rah rah. Or you do it in a brand or whatever, but the dropshipping is the model you use for your brand with 3PLs. When you put it into that, you're compounding your success because it's within some realm of your control. Is in essence
it's your bread and butter.
It's your bread and butter, right? And people go away from that because they want to get into the new thing and the new thing and the new thing.
Yeah,
but e-commerce is proven, time proven, that if you get the right product at the right price with the right margin, you will make money, and the ads are good.
The thing is, like, especially for like the seasoned people, you got to think about, where did you make all your money? Did you make it with dropshipping or something else? If you made it with dropshipping, sweet, stick to dropshipping because that's what you're good at, and the statistics show that that's what's going to make you money because it has made you money in the past.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are chasing. I like to call it like the shiny object. They like to chase the shiny object, and then once they chase the shiny object, all of a sudden, like, oh shit, like, they'll start failing.
Mate, it's why I stick to content removal.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've never found anything that I can provide a high value service that takes the least amount of my time for the most amount of profitable revenue. Yeah. At this moment in time, I've not found anything that can do that. I mean, I'm gonna set up an e-com thing on the back of what I'm doing and everything. And obviously, I'll talk to you about that. But don't ever forget the cash cow that started for you. Yeah, that's what I've had to learn myself. Because I started to forget, and I started to try and do all these other things, and I started to think, maybe crypto's the answer, or maybe this. You can always pivot, don't get me wrong, and pivot into these other things. But it's like you've pivoted it into the crypto space before. Yeah. Once in 2017, once recently. Yeah. And both times you've learned that you should fucking just stay where you were, right? Yeah. I think we've all just got to fucking realise it.
Yeah, I had a huge loss as well at the start of 2021, where I lost a lot of money with crypto, because obviously, like, the thing is, I didn't know what I was doing. And I was looking at all these people, because that's the thing. Instagram's just smoking mirrors. when you think that all these people are making all this money, but you don't realize they're losing money too. And I had this perception that everyone's just making money. Fuck it, I'll put 100k, 10k into like shit coins, random coins, and then obviously they don't make money, you lose money.
Jesse and Walter were sat in a hotel room in Melbourne one day, and they bought this coin. They lost fucking 450, 500k in 2 seconds flat.
Yeah.
Right. And he talked about it on the podcast, but like nobody sees that shit.
Yeah, nobody does
at the time.
Yeah,
like because if for those boys to be successful in crypto, they've been smacked so many times in the face.
Oh,
yeah. You don't see a fucking talented boxer out there like Floyd Mayweather moving his head like he does.
Yeah.
Right? Without having to learn when he was a kid that getting hit in the face was shit.
Yeah, I take a lot of inspiration as well from Floyd Mayweather. So, because I analyze him too, because he's one of the successful people that I look up to. And I ask myself, how is he so successful? It's his mindset. Like, he's boxing in the gym and he's saying to himself, can nobody beat me? Can nobody beat me? Nobody's better than me. Ain't nobody better than me. And I usually say that to myself too, because like it just reaffirms that.
Can I show you something?
Yeah.
I want to show this to. What does it say on the back of my phone? Read it out. I'll just get it. Hold on. I'll open it up for you. Read what it says on the back.
I'm the greatest podcaster in Australia history. I am #1 podcast, Australia, UK, and US. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's that. I read that every day.
So
and every day that I read that, like it becomes more and more real for me.
Mm-hmm. So what I did was in my mirror I wrote I am on a winning streak. So my bathroom mirror. So after I shower, I look up and I see I'm on a winning streak. Because it's who you surround yourself with and who you spend the most time with, you'll become the average of them.
On my window in my bedroom, it says all of life comes to me with ease, joy and glory.
Yeah.
Right? On my fucking window, written in the middle of the fucking view.
Yep.
And when I wake up, I stand there and I'm like, all my life comes to me with ease, joy and glory.
Yep.
And I fucking feel it. And that might sound woo as fuck.
Yeah.
And then I read I'm the greatest ever podcaster in Australian fucking history on my phone. Right? Because why wouldn't you?
Yep.
Why wouldn't you? I already fucking believe that. I've believed that since I started anyway.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, that's ego. No, it's not. It's not. It's self-belief.
Yeah. Self-belief,
fucking belief.
Confidence. I think confidence is super important because when you're not confident, you've already failed. Because when you're doubting yourself, you're going to do things that'll fuck up what you're doing, what you want to do.
It's a form of self-sabotage by not having belief in yourself.
Yep.
If you want to sabotage your fucking success and everything that you could possibly have success in life, walk around without the inherent self-belief that you could be bigger than what you are today.
Yep.
If you want to really want to disempower yourself, you'll do that. But if you really want to empower yourself and take yourself to that next fucking level in your life, you have to have that inherent self-belief within yourself.
Yeah.
You might not be exactly where you want to be right this second. You might be sat there in a car that you fucking hate. But if you can think for a moment, fuck, I'm so lucky that I even have a car.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I'm able to walk out of my car to my apartment building.
That's the gratitude thing I was talking about earlier. Like, what I learned from Benjamin was he was grateful for everything. And that's what I needed to do. And that's what got me super happy. Because I wasn't too happy. Like, obviously, you could have the stuff, you could buy the stuff, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be happy. But I was super happy when I looked at the small stuff. So it's funny, at home, I have this gratitude journal.
Yeah.
And my goal is to write 10 things every single day, completely random. It could be for light, electricity. I'm grateful for public transport. I'm grateful for being alive, breathing, friends, family, everything.
Yeah.
Because when you look at what you're grateful for, it washes out what you're ungrateful for. It washes out all the negatives. Because when you think about it, your positives to negatives is like 10 to 1 or maybe even 100 to 1. You just need to look for more things to be grateful for. A lot of people aren't practicing gratitude, which is why like they're unhappy. Like, obviously some people are born like chronic illnesses where they they're just sad all the time. But the thing is, like, just practice gratitude.
There's someone out there in a hospital bed, laying there, just praying to be able to walk out of there and to have some time with their family, to be praying to go to the local park that you're going to and I constantly have to remind myself, I'm so, sometimes in this last 2 years I've been fucking frustrated at points being in Australia, right? But then I always remember to myself, fuck, this was my dream. This was my dream. I'm living my dream. I'm this. I'm so grateful. Look at the view. I've built this. This is my vision. I sit on the beach. I breathe in the water. I'm like, fuck. I'm so grateful for this. Realize that it's so fucking fundamentally important that people feel into that and breathe into that and everything else. Because if you don't, you separate yourself even further from what you want. Yeah,
exactly.
And you can't. It's just there's no growth being in that mindset.
One of my old mentors, Chris Waller, he taught me that because I was about to quit in 2019. There's so many times along my journey where I was about to quit, and one thing that moved me, what he said was, there's someone in like Mumbai who's fighting his life to get to where you are right now, who wants to have your situation right now, and you're complaining about the fucking weather or something.
Yep.
It's crazy. Another thing that that really motivated me recently was I read this thing where it was like, imagine if you died right now and God slips you a piece of paper and he says, this is who you should have been. This is who you could have been, what you could have achieved. What happened? And that's what gets me up in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm leaving so much on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, mate. And it's why, like, when you talk about quitting, there's been so many times that very successful people have gone to me, Frankie, you make a lot more money if you just knock the podcast on the head, bro. I'm like, bruv, you don't get it. You just don't get it, man. It's a part of me. I can't.
Yeah.
I just have to do it, and I will make it a success. And I will go around the world, and I will podcast at a top level, and I will get on all these top people, and I will earn revenue from it, and all this stuff that I'll bring into my life. When it's right, it will fucking happen.
You could only fail as like a.
If I stop, that's
then you fail.
Then you fail.
Yeah.
You just got to keep fucking going.
When you're trying to figure something out, there's only so many failures before you find that one success, and it only takes that one success to drive you through. Because, like, for me, I wouldn't have been a success if I didn't find this one product, this little like shark pen. I call it shark rod, but it's this little pen that's a fishing rod. It's a fishing rod pen. Like, if I didn't test that product, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
But you have to believe that everything falls in place for you, and you also have to put in the work. So the rule of mastery is you have to put 10,000 hours to be a master at anything. You want to learn the piano, you want to be a good boxer. If you want to be a master at it, put 10,000 hours. If you do like 8 hours a day, that's roughly like 3 years. But the thing is...
And hold on. How long did it take you to make your first... was it $100K or $1 million in ECOM? Wasn't it about that time?
Yeah, about that time, yeah.
Fucking hell.
That's it. It's just the rule. But nobody wants to get rich slow. Everybody wants it now because we live in a society where it's instant gratification. Like, you could post a photo on Instagram, people giving you likes, comments.
Yeah, and this is what gets me about the problem I've seen in Australia is that there is a lot of genuine success young like yourself, but there's a lot of perceived success young as well, right? And the problem I have with it is that there's a lot of people rolling around in, and I'm just going to bring it back to this, in designer, right? That in essence are flexing on other people with loaned money and on debt, right? And then it just goes round in a fucking circle where we live here.
Yeah.
If you put 100 men and women in a room right now, that are all wearing all this designer clobber in the Gold Coast, 10 of them would be like fucking killing life, and allocating the 10% like you do to buy that stuff, and then the other 90 that you probably think are also just as successful, they're just fucking broke as fuck because they've forgot the whole point in the fucking process is the fact that. And they all flex on each other and level each other into this false thing that doesn't even exist and doesn't need to be.
I think it dials down to your philosophy as well. Because, like, in case you didn't know, I don't know if I said this earlier, but my philosophy in life is everything happens for me,
not to you,
not to me.
Yeah.
So, like, I think also in Australia there's like this flex culture. I think I call it a culture.
Yeah.
I love it. Like when I see someone in like design or someone who has something that I don't, it inspires me, man. Like I see it and I'm motivated. I'm ready to go. Whereas other people would look at it like, oh yeah, like he looks like a dickhead.
I always remember that day, right?
Yeah.
I don't go out a lot, bruv. You know this. I go down to. You're coming to the Gold Coast. You said, "Hey, Frankie, I'll be at Cali Beach." I don't know. And I walked into Cali Beach, right? And all your mates were there, and I didn't know your mates, but you kind of, and they like some of them came over to me, and they were like real nice lads, and just that, they were real nice, humble lads. Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, I listened to your podcast. It's really good." Like, just being kind, just being kind. I thought, "Fucking, this is brilliant. This is nice lads, like nice lads, your mates." And I thought, so I started asking them what you do. And this guy owned Umart, and this guy owned fucking this, and James, and this guy sold out for like fucking 50 million. Yeah. And this guy, and all these real nice, humble dudes. Yeah. Just wearing like normal gear, like just having a nice time, just normal looking lads. It must have been about 300, 400 mils worth of normal looking fellas there. Do you know what I mean? Like just normal looking nice lads that are just polite and that. Yeah. Just goes to fucking show you, doesn't it? Yeah. I walked past people, bro, that because I wasn't dressed the way certain people dress or in the certain clique with certain people, they were looking that even when they saw me, like they were looking down on me. But then I just thought it was like fucking ironic. Yeah. That when I go there this day, that just shows you the flex culture. You got there was nothing about your mates there that stood out like the flex. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's ironic because they're my richest friends too. Yeah. And my friends who like wear the most like flashy shit are some of my not as rich friends. But like I look at it at the end of the day, it's a piece of clothing. It looks sick. Like Sam as well. Sam
Ravi. Yeah.
I love his stories. Every time I see the Louis and all that.
But Sam's on a different level because, and this is 4 or 5 we're talking about. Sam's on a different level because I know Sam. We speak together, right? But here's what Sam's done. Sam uses, and he's explained this to me. Sam uses high fashion, like high level fashion. He uses them as access tokens to the parties where he can do business, right? He'll buy a limited edition piece of Louis Vuitton or a limited edition piece of Balenciaga or whatever. LV I think is his favourite, and he likes Fendi too. He'll buy a limited edition of piece. Not only will that piece go up in value, right, and he genuinely loves fashion, but that piece is a talking point for when he goes to live like around this area and with other people, does business, starts conversations. So he uses it like that. Not only that, one of his philosophies is he lives in Dubai. Obviously, he has obviously there's no point being Australian for tax when you can live in Dubai when you've done what he's done, you know, which is hundreds of millions. But his philosophy was when he was coming to buy an apartment, he will buy an apartment where there's like one apartment per floor for like mass amount of money, because then that means that everyone around him has to be like worth hundreds and hundreds of millions. That's
why like people ask me like, why am I in my apartment right now? And I love my building. Rent's so expensive, bro. It's $1,600 a week, and then the office on top of that is $4,200 a month. So that's already like $10K plus in just rent. But what I like about it, I think you saw it in my story. Do you see the amount of supercars there?
Yeah.
It's crazy because when it's just an environment of just winners. Even when I go to the lift, I get ideas. I ask people because I try to find value in everyone. It was funny because it was my real estate agent's mum who was in the lift one day, and then she told me it was the smallest thing. It was just anytime in business, you got to figure out your exit before you figure out your entry. Before you enter, figure out your exit plan.
Yeah, and I fucking learnt this 3 years after I started mine.
Yeah.
And I realised that I'd never planned how to exit this business.
Yeah.
And that's why it'll always be a cash flow business to me rather than a business that's a saleable asset.
Yeah.
And that stressed me out because I thought, fuck, I could have done with learning that a little bit sooner in life. A little bit sooner. But it's like you have to before with your dropshipping stores, some of them you might start for certain seasons, so you know that they're a 3-month store.
Yeah.
And you know at the start that you know that.
Yeah.
And some of them might be 12 months, and then you're going to have to wrap that up and roll it into another product, and you know that from the start now. Whereas when you started, you were probably scaled one to 10, 20k, and thought that 10, 20k was going to last forever.
That's why it's so important to learn from people 10, 20, a million steps ahead of you. Because where I learned to sell stores was from one of my friends, Chris. He said, it's like British accent. He said, mate, when you have a store that's running, make another store that just like that and then sell that store because you know that it's selling. So keep selling it on another store and then go sell that current store. Yeah. So that's what I did recently where I sold that store for, I think it was 200k.
Yeah, and this is something I want you guys all to understand, that when you go on Shopify Marketplace and you see these successful stores being sold, someone will be selling that store, right? But the day that they sell the fucking store, there'll be another one. They'll have another store, exact same branding, selling the same fucking product.
Which is why I don't like to buy businesses, but I like to start businesses. And then perhaps down the line, I'll go give it to someone who's more qualified. Like with some of my marketing, I've outsourced that to social media marketing agencies. Yeah. Because like one of my friends who was at Cali runs a...
Gabriel.
Yeah. And Patrick. And
Patrick, they're all nice lads.
So, he did the ads for Culture Kings.
Yeah, sick.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Over 100 million spend. And it was like 10 rides or something. Insane. But... yeah, the thing is, you have to realize this is what the Gymshark CEO realized early on. He realized he's not fit for the CEO role.
He's just moved back into it now, but he had but he had 3 or 4 years out. Yeah, Steve Hewitt took charge.
So, like with me, I realized, okay, I'm good at marketing, but there's someone better. Yeah, there's always going to be someone better, and then you have to look at it as a CEO because at the end of the day, that's what you are. You're a CEO. Okay, if I give this marketing agency 10, 20%, would it be beneficial or should I do it all myself? A lot of people, they just do everything themselves, which is why they tend to burn out quickly and they tend to not see good results because they're doing everything themselves. They're like running the ads, running the marketing, doing everything, and then they eventually just get sick of it, which is why I eventually hired full-time staff. I have 3 at the moment, 1 in Townsville, 2 in Perth. And the reason why I built staff was because I learned from somebody else. Wealth is created through labor.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, okay, if I myself have a process in my head where I can make $1,000, $2,000, okay, sick, $2,000, hire 5 staff that could do the same process, repeat it, because the process is proven. And that's the thing, it's like the business model. It's proven to work.
So how are you making standard operating procedures for that?
So I film SOPs on Loom.
Yep.
And then what I do is I prefer to do one-on-one training with them. So I'll train them for a couple months. And another thing I learned was with the hiring process, when you're hiring your first few staff, put them on probation first. I learned this from one of my friend's uncle, Harry, who sold this company for like 200 million. And Harry taught me that you should put them on probation because then if you don't like them, you can kick them. Yeah. And you don't have to like worry about them. So what I do, instead of a 6-month probation, I do a 3-month probation. And if it's good, then sweet, they'll be on the team. If not, And that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to just expand my team. Because the thing is, you can't do everything yourself. You're only limited. And the more you do, the quicker you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
So one of my friends, Eve, knows me really well for this. I only do 3 to 4 things a day. 3 to 4 things. So like...
how are you picking them 3 to 4 things that are the key,
night before.
The key movers, yeah.
So the night before, I do 3 to 4 things. So today it was update that store that I was just showing you before.
Yep.
I think I was showing you before the podcast.
Yep.
Do the podcast. This afternoon, I want to play some Fortnite.
Yeah.
And then I think...
So hold on a minute. They're not even all work-related?
Not work-related, no.
So how do you break it down? Do you do like three work-related and one non-work-related?
It depends what's important. So there's this importance chart, and it's like...
Can you link a copy of any of the resources that you've got for this so that I can put them in the show notes?
I'll read it. I'll read it out to you.
Yeah, that would be good, because I think that I just want people to get so much fucking value from this that they have to listen to it twice. So like
my to-do list, I titled it "I will do list." As you can see, I will do list. It's not a to-do list; it's an I will do list, because, like we said before, I'm affirming that I'm going to do it.
I'm writing this down because that's fucking great.
I will do list because I'm affirming. So this is how I do it. So if it's urgent and it's important, I'll do it now. If it's important but it's not urgent, then I'll schedule a time to do it.
I'm literally taking a photo of this.
If it's not important but it's urgent, then I ask, who can I do it for you? Who can do it for me? I delegate it.
Let me read this out. Let me read this out to them again. So they get this. So Lester's got on his phone, I think it's set up through Notion.
Yeah, Notion. That's my office at the top.
Yeah, and he's got a picture of his office so you can see his view there, right? And
I'll screenshot that.
And then he's got an I will do list, and he's got it broke down to important and not important. And if it's like urgent, if it's important and urgent, do it now. If it's important but not urgent, schedule time to do it. If it's not important and not urgent, delete it and eliminate it. If it's not important but it is urgent, who can do it for you?
So another thing I have is I have expiry dates on my to-do list. So I think I'll show you here.
So if it's on the to-do list for too long,
you're not going to do it.
It doesn't need doing.
Yeah, because I've had I'm not perfect. I've had stuff on my to-do list. I remember in 2018, 2019, I had stuff on my to-do list for 6 months.
Yeah, and that obviously tells you at that particular time that it doesn't light you up. So there's no point fucking doing it.
If it's not important, you're not going to do it. But yeah, I've got a lot of notes here. But I like to also write my day down the night before, because your day starts the night before. Right before I go to sleep, everything I'm going to do for that day, I'll plan it out, and then I'll have those key movers. The important things.
Is that a set out that you could put into a template so that we could share it with the audience?
Yeah, I'll screenshot that.
No, what I mean is, in Notion, can you share it as a resource?
Oh, yeah, I could do that.
And what we could do is share it with the audience and let them have that, so they can set up Notion and start to, even if they just action that one thing.
Yeah, I think you just do one thing. But
I think that there, what you're showing me, and
it's
let's just show the camera. So if you're on YouTube right now, you'll see that and see how that's laid out.
It's kind of just a guide.
It's just a guide, and
for everything on my to-do list, I'll look at where does that fit? Where can I put that? And it helps me eliminate things that are useless. So
give me an example of something that you've thought was valuable, but then you've ran it through your audit and you found out it's useless.
I think it was buy a book, because I really wanted to buy this book because somebody recommended it, but then it was useless because I've got all these other books I haven't read. And I know so many friends, bro, that just buy so many books and don't read them.
Yeah, let me add a point on that, right? Because people associate buying the book with success.
Yeah.
They buy the book, they post it on social media, right? And that's the flex. And when you fucking do that, right, you've just fucking missed the whole point, because before you even buy the book, you should read the end of the book, right? To see if you resonate with where you end up.
Another thing I do is, if a book's hard to read for me, I just don't like reading it. So Start With Why. That was a bit of an annoying book to read.
Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I just couldn't read it quick. Whereas, like, something like Atomic Habits, The Slight Edge, I read it so quick. I enjoy reading it. And the thing is, if I don't enjoy reading it, I'll just stop reading it. Like this other book. It was really good. It was Ego is the Enemy.
Yeah, Ryan Holiday.
Ryan Holiday, yeah.
Beautiful book.
I love it, but I got to halfway and I was like, okay, I'm not going to read this yet because, like, it's not resonating with me.
And that's another thing. When it isn't resonating with you, and when you're not on purpose with the actual book you're reading, you don't have to fucking complete it. It's fine to put it down and go to another book.
Yeah, it's fine.
You don't have to start a book and finish every book you start. I don't. I'm like, there's books that I started reading. I started reading Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza at the time. Didn't resonate with it at the time. Just about to start reading it again because now I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to read it because I've done this breath work and done the things and done everything else I need to do to be able to understand it.
Yeah. Another thing I do I think Notion is a great app. So I have everything in Notion. So this is my learning.
Yeah.
My books that I've read. So I tick them off, and then I write. I take notes as I read the book. So like The Slight Edge, for example, I have everything there, and I write this all myself. And it's funny because like Formula for Success, W Rate of Failure. I write this all myself because a lot of friends they like to shortcut it, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, can you just like send that to me?"
That's not the
take your own notes.
Because taking your own notes on stuff like you're talking about is where taking notes or listening to the audiobook while you're reading the physical book as well. Alex Hormozy says this. When you do that, you double your rate of intake of the information you're actually physically reading because it's being read to you in your ear and you're reading it in the physical.
I'm the slowest reader. I always review what I read, which is why I only aim for 2 chapters a day. Before, I used to read like 5-6 chapters a day.
But you can't retain it, can you?
I can't. And the thing is, like, I'm after learning. Like, I'm after sharpening the saw. So what I do now is I read and I highlight till the end of that chapter. So this is like my method. I will go read a chapter and I'll highlight anything that resonates with me. And then at the end of the chapter, I'll go in, type it all down, and then I'll ask myself, like...
You type down what you've highlighted?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. And, like, sometimes I'm typing paragraphs, but I'm learning it all. Because at the end of the day, all it is sharpening the saw. And the thing is, you need to learn, you need to adapt, and you need to upgrade yourself because it's like this saying that I heard at the gym. It's you either make time for the gym now or you make time for sickness later.
Yeah.
No, or you have to make time for sickness later.
Yeah. And it's the same with eating well, like all this stuff.
Yeah, that's why I used to spend so much money on food, but now I'm just back into the meal prepping because one of those boys at Cali, Caleb, he like motivated me to just get my dieting right. Because as well, the food you eat affects how you think. Because like I used to be crazy with the energy drinks, but obviously that didn't have a good effect on me.
I'm still trying to break the. It's my only vice, bro. It's my only.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the thing: if you have a habit that you want to break, attach it with something bad. So then your brain connects that habit with pain. So like for me, I have an Instagram time limit. If I go past that limit, I have to do 10 push-ups. It's not a lot, but then I have the urge to go again, 10 again. My arms are
What's your limit on Instagram? How much
an hour a day.
An hour a day.
And once I'm hitting those push-ups, I feel the pain. Or I go beat myself up by like doing a crazy workout. And then my brain associates that with pain. So it's like, okay, look, I don't want to feel the pain, so we're not going to touch that phone.
Yeah. A lot of your success has come from frameworks.
Yeah.
You've got lots of frameworks within your life that you operate from. I've talked about this before in the podcast with several people, but I have a few frameworks that I operate from. The starting framework is I write down on a page who I am.
Yeah.
And who I want to be, and I see if who I am is congruent with who I want to be.
Yeah,
and if they're not,
that's super important.
If they're not congruent, then I fucking eliminate shit, which makes it not congruent, right? And I'm gonna reassess that today, because that that's going to show me why I should quit energy drinks.
Yeah.
That one trick there. So I'm going to reuse that on myself. But I just wanted to tell these guys
you could
again.
edit it. Like, what's a drink you hate?
Anything alcoholic, because I've never drank alcohol.
Yeah, well, force yourself to go. Oh, well, probably not a good thing. But like, what's another drink that you just don't like?
Fucking hell.
Is there like a drink that you just like? Ugh. It's like with McDonald's.
Yeah.
If I'm getting a cheeseburger, I have to eat that fucking pickle.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm getting.
Why do they put pickle in it for?
So I usually get it out.
Yeah.
But I need that pain because it teaches my brain, we're not doing that again. That pickle is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's like a drink you don't?
I'm just trying to think of a drink I don't fucking like. I mean, probably like tea or something stupid.
Yeah. So you have to drink a cup of tea before you drink the Red Bull.
Yeah, that's
when you do that, then you'll be like, no, fuck this. I'm just not going to drink the Red Bull.
Yeah.
It's that discipline.
Yeah,
because
I've been struggling. You know what? Because I've been so disciplined with the gym all my life, the gym and like my physicality stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really struggling at the moment with getting my mojo back with it. But I just need to get back to just doing the habits that make that a success for me.
So what I do. Obviously, I had that same issue a while ago where I just didn't feel like I was doing work. So what I did was X amount of hours a day, and then I grew from that. So I started off with 1 hour of work. I do 1 hour, I sit on my laptop, because the thing is, you could fall back on a slope, but you have to catch yourself. And if you don't catch yourself, you're going to keep falling. And you have to keep upgrading because like you either get busy living or you get busy dying. And what I did was 1 hour of work, just 1 hour. And then the next, I do 2 hours, then 3 hours. And then you pretty much find a point where it's like your max work. Because you also have to figure out, like, what time do you work really well?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the best time for me to work. But I know that deep work for me, in regards to like content removal work will be like, and anything I'm doing with that will be like 2.5 hours a day max, and I'm out.
Yep.
Like just deep work. But if you're doing 2.5 hours of deep work, that is equivalent to 8 hours of a normal person's day.
Yep.
Because I'm talking about deep work.
Yeah, so I usually like to work between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. That's like where I get the good work done, the important stuff. I get done.
Because the world's quiet then.
Yep. I go into my office, get all it done, and then I'll start to do other stuff. Because a lot of people, like, especially with like the Gary V, a lot of people like, oh, you have to grind, you have to eat shit.
Bro. I hate it.
That's not a fact, because it's funny because one of my friends, Tyson, was like, holy shit, bro, like you wake up at like 4 a.m. every day. Like, that's what it seems like on Instagram. But in reality, I'm posting that photo at 4 a.m. because I'm about to go sleep. I don't wake up at 4 a.m. Last night I went to sleep at 4 a.m. because I was like working on some stuff. Yeah. But that's why like it's not good to look at like the Instagram stuff, because a lot of people think as well that I do a fuck ton of work. I eventually got to a point where I didn't like the work I was doing. I found someone that was going to execute that work for a salary, because that's all it is. All the transfer of money is value. So give a product or service, and that's what a business is. It's just giving a product or a service, and you don't have to do that work. You don't have to force yourself. If you don't like doing that work, find someone else that'll do it. Find something that you like.
Yeah. Do you think, I mean, look, I know you've had success from e-commerce, but do you believe there's one thing that most people could go and have some form of success in, and do you believe that to be ECOM?
What do you mean? Like
do you think that most people could find success there as long as they didn't quit?
Yeah, that's the thing. Whatever you do, no matter what it is, you're going to succeed. It's just, are you ready to fail X amount of times?
Yeah.
I have students that first store, banging. I have other students that still haven't succeeded for 2 years. One of my like friends in Byron Bay that I'm like helping out, he hasn't succeeded in 2-3 years, but he's still chipping away, and I'm confident that he's going to get it.
And these are, when you say students, it's not like not like you're teaching them a course or nothing. No. You're just mentoring your friends, aren't you?
So back when I was like up and coming, when it was working for me, I kind of had this thing where I had to give back. So like I was just helping anyone, everyone, because I didn't really want to sell a course, but I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
Which is why like later on, like I'm planning to like start a YouTube channel or something just to help people.
Yeah. I think that kind of, you've seen what success Davey's had with the YouTube.
Yeah.
And that is something that you could add a lot of detail to.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, the only thing that I don't like with learning from like someone like Davey or Gary Vaynerchuk or like Grant Cardone, they're a million steps away. The best way to learn to go from 0 to 100,000 is to learn from someone who just did it.
Yeah.
The best way to learn from 100,000 to 1 million, find someone who just did it.
Yeah.
Because when you're learning from these billionaires, like, yeah, it's sick, but their advice isn't as good as the advice someone would give you who's...
Davey's never dropshipped.
Yeah.
He's never dropshipped.
Yep.
It's as simple as that, and he says it on his video, so I'm not saying anything that's not out in the world already. Davey's never dropshipped, and he's trying to set up a dropshipping brand on YouTube, and he's done a whole series of videos on it. But the truth of the matter is that you are better at dropshipping than Davey.
Yeah.
Because you've built more than that revenue that he's trying to hit in dropshipping. Mm-hmm. He is fucking phenomenal at brand and white label. Do you know what I mean? And that's what he's phenomenal at.
Yeah.
And I think that because Davey set up his YouTube channel and wanted to add value to the world, obviously, and there is a lot of value, there's loads of value on his YouTube channel. But I think I don't know whether he teaches this on there or not now, but I think setting up the brand, like going from 0 to the brand that he's got, rather than the dropshipping model for him would be better, because like you say, it's so far away. And what happened was when Davey Fogarty was doing that on YouTube, everyone fucking nicked his product, so it fucking made it not profitable in the ads, which fucks you in dropshipping.
Yeah, and well, that's the only weird thing with like Davey. I'm shocked that he actually like went out on YouTube and said like he's a founder of Audi, because like one of his videos he was teaching, go on like a competitor's website and just take their email flow. Imagine how many emails, like fake emails, they were getting, or like SMSs that they were sending out to people watching his videos. Like you're just losing money, which is why I'm pretty private with like stores. Like I'll tell you, but I won't post any stores. Like did I end up showing you that store that did 7 million?
Nah.
I think I sent you a video.
Nah.
On Instagram?
You probably did, but go on, talk about it.
But like, I don't know if I showed you the product, but I'll usually cover the product.
Your store we're talking about. Your store. Yeah. Right, so it did 7 million in how long?
2 years.
2 years, right, yeah. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but like with friends, like I'll show them the product, but to the general public, I don't really like showing it. Yeah. Because
mate, I fully fucking get mate, I don't want you to show it.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
What I was saying about that is Davey was trying to help the world, and he was. But the problem was because he said the product so fucking early on the YouTube channel, everyone copied the fucking product, which means he couldn't get to the profitable stage with the product that he was trying to show everyone could be scaled to, because everyone's now competing on fucking Facebook ads because he's just released the product.
That's the thing. If you want to succeed, because there's thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people who are dropshipping. The best way to succeed is to just test more products. Because that product doesn't work.
Break that, because I know you've taught me through before the phenomenal ways that you've got of testing products. Talk me through those. So
there's different ways that I test products. The cheap way is to get a CBO, have your interests.
Hold on. Break down what a CBO is.
So it's a campaign budget optimization. So it's just a campaign budget.
Right, okay.
And it's just a campaign. And then you have your ad sets targeting a certain like niche, say beauty, for example.
Yeah.
And then in each ad, in each interest, have like 3 ads, 3 different products that are in that same niche. Because then you're only spending $100 and you're testing 3 products.
Right.
Whereas, or alternatively, you could test like different products. I usually spend $100. Usually I do 2 times COGS, 2 times AOV. If it spends that, average order value. So say like the average order value is $30. Spend $60, cut. Because at the end of the day, a strong product will sell. It just means there's no demand in the market.
Yeah.
And it also depends on your marketing angle. Because
and this is where we go a little bit like, we've talked about this before. Do you want to go grey? Do you want to go straight down the line? And it's kind of like, just explain this to them.
So, which part?
Just the bit you're talking about, angles.
Yeah, so there's different angles you could do. You could be real edgy with it, like closing down sale, or you could just be direct. But the thing is, what dropshipping is DRM. It's direct response marketing.
Yeah.
You're scrolling through Instagram and you want them to buy right now. Yeah. So you obviously have to have some scarcity in there. And
you want impulse buys.
Impulse buys, yeah. And there's different techniques that you could do that can trigger impulse buys, certain colors.
Because you know products that are selling right now that are hot, but you aren't obviously selling them. Drop some examples for the listeners on what's being impulse bought off Instagram right now.
Like sunset lamps, really good.
Right.
There's another one. I'll go through the products we tested, because here I could drop some really good value. The sunset lamps were good. There's this product as well. I'll show you. So this is off that store currently.
Yeah, I love this. Sunset lamps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's today.
30K today.
And that's refreshed.
And this is a store that...
store.
This is someone else's store. Wow.
No, this is my store.
Oh, that's your store?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, I'm pretty open with... Because, one thing I've seen in a lot of podcasts is, somebody's made X amount of money. But they'll, show you a screenshot. Okay, refresh it. Because a lot of people are, saying that they're something they're not.
I've actually personally seen what looked to me like the same screenshot by about 3 different people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, disappointed.
Yeah, literally.
Because...
That's why it's important to choose who you learn from, because who you learn from is eventually going to be who you're going to be.
Who you become.
Yeah.
Who you become. 100%. And like you said, there are different people that you learn from along the journey.
And then I'll apply my own source into it.
Yeah.
I won't just directly steal what they've taught me. Another thing I've learned is never do anything never learn from someone who's never done what it is you're trying to do. Otherwise, you'll end up not doing it just like them.
This is it. This is why I was saying about the Davey thing. Davey is fucking phenomenal at building brand, and he should teach building brand.
Yeah, he should.
Not teach dropshipping, because he'd never done dropshipping. Yep. And that's why it went wrong. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Why it wasn't as good a content as his other content, because he didn't do it. But I think obviously he knows that he's a great lad. He's a great lad, and he's offering great fucking value on YouTube. There's no doubt about
value,
it.
Yeah.
He's insane. He's a phenomenal inspiration to me.
Yeah. And
a fantastic guy too. I'm going to get him back on the podcast in a physical person, but I'm sure he'll say the same when he comes back on the podcast. It'll be like, I just think I just overcooked it there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He could be a phenomenal dropshipper too. There's no doubt about it. But you cannot be a phenomenal dropshipper and release the product you're going to dropship.
Yeah. Impossible.
No top dropshippers do that.
Yep.
Simple as that. They don't. They fucking don't.
Yeah, that's the thing with dropshipping as well. You got to realize there's going to be competitors, and a lot of people get pissed off when there's competitors. They're like, "Oh, this person just rips me off. This other person rips me off." So that's how it is. That's how it is.
That is the game.
But that's why I like it, because it's like a hustle. Everyone's got their own little things. So what I do is, when I'm looking for a good store, if I find a good product, I'll find other people selling the same product. I'll go through all those stores, and I'll take little bits and pieces of inspiration. I'll write it down. I won't copy it. I'll write it down. I'll write down the inspiration, and then from there I formulate the store.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas a lot of people copy and paste. And the thing is, if you're not willing to do the work, then you shouldn't expect the result.
Yeah, and I think that's why there's a lot of nuance that a lot of people miss, mate.
Yeah.
With this whole thing, like if you were going to give some like massive pearls of wisdom, then not that you haven't already, you've made there's fucking thousands of pearls of wisdom on here. But if you were going to give people like a strategy of how they could get started in ecom, what would the strategy look like in the most layman terms possible?
Well, a good strategy is first, get a job. Have some sort of stream of income.
Yeah.
Educate yourself an hour a day, 2 hours a day, read, learn. And then what you should do is, which is what I did, spend a percentage of that income. Don't spend the whole thing. It's stupid spending the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even though you're starting up a business, have some money for yourself. Go treat yourself to some ice cream every now and then. Go treat yourself to dinner. But still spend that money. But have a percentage that you're going to spend towards your business. And then just test products. You don't need to go learn from someone who's like super crazy. You could learn from random YouTubers, which is all I did. All I did was I learned from random YouTubers and I kept on doing it. And each time I failed, I learned something.
What about the people out there, though, that say that you need a mentor, that say you need a course, that say you need X, Y, Z?
Well, when you think about the big pioneers in the world, they didn't have mentors till later on. Like, obviously, they had mentors, but the mentor guides you, but at the end of the day, you need to do the execution. So the mentor is that 20%, but you're that 80%. It's like
some guy who I'm not going to name.
Yeah,
he's worth about 300 mil. He said to me, Frankie, do you really believe that Elon Musk started Tesla on the back of doing a course for 1997?
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, bro, I get it. And he's like, that's simply what you need to relate to the world.
Yeah,
like, and it's true. It's like, because like what we talked about before when we talked about the book, where people buy the book, they put the book on social media, but they don't read the book, right? It's the same with the course. People associate buying the course for 997 or 197 as the success, but they never get through the course, never execute the information. It's not that the courses are bad. It's not that you can't have success from a course. It's that really and truly, if 100 people bought a course for 1997, there's only one person that's going to have success with it, because there's only one person that's going to action the content. And that's it. That's it. It's as simple as it is.
Yeah, I think courses are good, and all it is obviously it's just a transfer of money. They're giving you a service or a product, the course, and you're paying them an amount of money for it. It's fine. It's not a scam. It's not any of that. But I think at the end of the day, you need to be executing, because if you're not
that's
doing
the most
the work,
important part. Yeah, the courses aren't the issue.
Yeah,
you can buy a course on ECOM off of Udemy for $16. That would probably still just be as good as one for 997, to be totally honest, right?
But the thing is,
but you've got to execute on both of them.
You also have to learn you also have to figure out who are you learning from, because if you learn from someone who hasn't done what it is you're trying to do, you're going to end up not doing it just like them.
Yeah.
Which is why, like I don't want to brag or anything, but a lot of people I've worked with, like on name drop something like Eve, Will, one of my friends, Devin, Jonathan, a lot of those boys found success because like obviously I'm doing it right and it rubs off on them.
Yeah. Whereas
like when people are hanging out with people who aren't successful, that's rubbing off on them.
Yeah. Yeah, you should, like, again, pick your hard.
Yeah.
Pick your hard. Do you want to be who you surround yourself with has a massive part of that. Who you learn from has a massive part of that. And there's no I haven't got an issue with the tools available. The book I haven't got an issue with the books, the courses, or anything like that. It's just what books at what time, what courses at what time, and if you're gonna buy it, execute on what you're buying. I have, on a personal level in the past, bought courses and not actioned on half of them, because that's just the nature of the come up. Like we've all tried to. I don't mind. But like the courses that I find most interesting, like for me in terms of like actionable content, are like, if you're gonna start advertising, you can buy a course on Facebook ads for like $197, and it's gonna help you increase your fucking return on investment. Of course, fucking buy it.
Yeah,
it's fucking fast track. But make sure you execute on the content. Essentially, what I'm saying.
I think as well, investing in a mentor is important, but you also have to do research on that mentor. Because like
verifiable success.
Yeah, like I've lost thousands with dodgy mentors or dodgy people who promise me like the world, and I don't really end up learning anything from them. But at the end of the day, it's all a learning lesson. Like there was this one person who I paid $20,000 to learn off, and I got absolutely nothing. I got like one video off him. But like to me, that was an expensive business lesson, but it was the cheapest expensive business lesson I learned.
Yeah, every course that I've previously bought in the older days, and everything else that I've bought, a lot of books that I have read, the books in the early days that I didn't read, it's all a big learning. It's all a big learning. Like no, what I've learned in life is that no fucker has it sorted. No one does. No, everyone's out there fucking flexing this. Their life's complete. Fuck me, man. I'm still fucking way away from where I want to be. You know what I mean? I'm fucking got some phenomenally big goals for this and everything else I'm doing. There's no doubt in my mind, but bring it back into alignment of the fact of like, you know, if you say you're going to do something, you have to back yourself and do it. Otherwise, you are telling yourself subconsciously that you are someone who doesn't follow through with what you say you're going to do.
I think, like as cliche as it sounds, you got to get rid of the excuses. Because a lot of people like I was talking to this other person who wanted to start a brick and mortar business, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have the money for it." It's like, sick. Go get investors for it. Most startups are like made from investors.
You can always get money for a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a good idea and you believe in the idea,
you can always get funding.
Go as far with the idea as possible. But the thing is, you have to stick to it, and just kill the excuses. Because, like, say you don't have money, sweet, go get private equity funding or revenue-based finance. Go get some money from investors and use that money to grow your money.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people just think of crazy excuses, but that's why I like dropshipping. And that's why I always stick to it, because that's where I found my success.
Yeah.
And the thing with dropshipping is, like, for example, I'll run you through a rough example. Say you find a product on AliExpress. You find one product, say, like, the market cap on that product is, like, $5 million.
Yeah.
Sick. If you take 5% of the market, what's that? $250K.
Yeah.
Sweet. Say you take 30% margins because it's low revenue. Say you take 30% margin of that, sweet, you just made $75,000. Then you're like, oh, well, how the fuck am I meant to make that? That's only like, what, 684 profit a day.
Yeah, when you break down the numbers.
Yeah, those are very rough, but
well, no, but when you break down the numbers, it makes things more, you know, $1 million a year that most people have as their arbitrary goal.
Yeah.
Isn't far away.
I think breaking it down. One thing I learned as well was to be realistic with everything.
Yeah.
And not have because a lot of people sabotage themselves by having like these crazy goals, like ridiculous goals. Like I know a friend who's got like a couple $1,000 and he's like, I want to make $1 million this year. Like, first aim for that small goal. What I did was I aimed for 10K. After 10, 100, 250, 500. And then you slowly build yourself up. Because and to be honest, one of his goals along the way to this $1 million that he's got the long-term goal for should be replace your income so you don't have to go to work anymore. Yeah, exactly. Like, I agree with you. If your goals are that big that you can't see the way to get there, maybe just still have the big goal, but just break them down into smaller chunks so you can achieve levels along the way to it. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, you're in this constant battle, and then you get into this I'm not enough mode. Yeah. And you start fighting yourself. Yeah, I think it's good to have a super supportive crowd with you. and you need to not be scared to cut off friends. Because, like, I had one of my old partners, she hated cutting off friends. Because, like, she's like, that's all I have. But, like, you have to be happy with rolling with yourself sometimes.
Yeah, mate. I spend time with myself. I date myself. I take myself out.
Yeah, treat yourself.
Because unless my cup is full, unless I am truly happy myself, I can't be of value to other people. I can't. Definitely. Another partner, a friend, this podcast, everything else I start. That's why before this podcast I was there and I did like 20, 30, 40 minutes of breathing and getting in the zone, because I'm like, I know this podcast is going to bang. I know the value that's in this. We just simply have to have the conversation, and the value will just dissipate.
What's your meditation routine?
So what I do, I've got two.
Yep.
So I've got a guided one. I've got three actually.
What app do you use?
No. I've got this guided meditation that's 21 minutes. Not an app. I don't use apps. I don't use apps for meditate. It's like meditation and breath work. A 21 minute one, which is just the optimum amount of time for me to get where I start to see colours and start to see energy and stuff. And then that's the guided one. And then because Lino's taught me how to breathe properly, and because I've done so much like one-to-one coaching with this stuff, and we breathe together so many times, I will do a couple of days a week where I just breathe to music. So I'll line up five long songs.
Yep.
On Spotify with I'll probably share the list or something like that. But I line up 5 songs. One of them is Coming Home. It's called Coming Home. It's like a very emotional song
with P Diddy.
No. It's more like it's I'll line it. I'll have to line them up, but I'll just talk to you. I line up 5 songs, right? And I'll do nasal breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth on the first song. When we get to the end of the first song, I'll take a full breath in, a full breath out.
Yeah.
And I'll just be at peace and for as long as I can till I can't breathe.
Yeah, I love that.
And then I start breathing again. But now the next song's mouth breaths. When I get to the end of that song, full breath in, full breath out, pause as far along through the next song, and then repeat for 5 songs.
Yeah.
That works out about 25, 30 minutes. What that gives me is that allows me stillness within I've got a very fucking active imagination. I've got a very fucking, my mind goes at 365 miles an hour in so many different directions. Should I go back to England? Should I take the podcast to Sydney? Should I go to Dubai? Yeah. Should I incorporate over here? Should I fucking live in England? Should I go to America? Like, fuck me all the time, bro. Like, am I in the right place?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. First things first, you're always, where you're meant to be is where you are right now. Right? Where you are is where you're meant to be. So that's a question that doesn't need answering in your life anymore.
Yeah.
The second thing, this breath work allows me to find the stillness to realise that.
It's really good. That's one thing I love about meditating is you could hear your thoughts and you could step out from an outside perspective and you could assess your thoughts. You could assess your day, which is why I do it at the start of the day and at the end of the day. Yeah. And what the meditating does is you could make better choices and just like think. Because what's even crazier is you probably, I don't know if you know this, but like 80% of our life, 90% of our life is all automated.
Yeah.
Every single day you wake up, like I'd be driving and I don't even realize I'm driving.
Yeah.
Or like, you know how like you're talking to someone and then you like phase out and you're like, oh, what? I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of our life is automated. So the best thing to do is set yourself up for success by giving yourself the right automation. Automating yourself in the right things. If you pick up, that's why meditating is good, because it's like reflecting and it's assessing. Because like if you reflect, oh, I have this bad habit that I shouldn't be doing, you'll pick that up in your meditation, and then you'll figure out a way to get rid of that. Yeah,
I'm gonna breathe into that this afternoon.
Yeah,
it's all about finally kicking, because I wanna go on a break from caffeine.
Yeah.
Because I've just been researching it a lot lately, and I think that caffeine causes so many dramas in our lives that we don't realise.
Makes you super anxious.
Yeah, it doesn't make me physically anxious. Yeah. It makes me anxious in the mind in terms of like, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Boom, boom, boom.
So what I do is like how much caffeine you consume a day?
Man, I'm I'm at my highest addiction right now. I've been at 2 monsters.
5 coffees?
No, probably a couple of monsters a day. Yeah.
Is it the big ones?
Yeah.
So maybe buy so that's equivalent to like the 4-pack of the small ones, right?
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
So start off by like having 3 of those small ones, or well, just buy the small ones, and then like start off with 3, then go to 2, then go to 1, and just slowly dial it back. Because when you try to cut it off straight away,
this is
you'll crash.
This is what happens to me, right?
Yeah.
I'll go cold turkey.
I hate going cold turkey.
And it kills me.
Yeah.
It fucking kills me. Because,
just go on a slow decline.
Yeah. Because, I realised I'm using Monster like other people use drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And realising it is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Because you can be on.
I'm catching yourself. Is the
one thing I'll always be is fucking honest, radically honest with myself, bro.
Yep.
Like, and I know this is a problem now, and I know it's got to stop. But like you say, there's a way of stopping it, and stopping it cold turkey, which I've tried several times this year. Not this year, but like end of last year.
That's the thing. Like, you can't mindset your way out of it. Be practical with it and be logical with it. And think of a strategy where you can slowly get rid of it.
I think the strategy that you run with it is you drop from 2 big cans to 2 small cans of V a day, then you roll that back the next week after that to 1 can of V a day, and then the week after that you roll it to 1 can every other day, and then the day after that you roll it to like 2 cans a week, and then the week after that you roll it to 0 and fuck off. Because
I was having 5 coffees a day.
Yeah.
And then I dropped it to 4, then 3, using that strategy. Another strategy I did was if you have like a really close friend, have an accountability partner.
Yeah. And
every time before I bought a coffee, I'd like text my friend Eve, like which one it is. Like, oh yeah, I'm having my 4th coffee today. And then he'll like bring you back into the world, and then you realise, oh shit, I shouldn't be having that.
I'm your accountability partner, where I said your voice note going, Lester, you're doing really well, bruv. Carry fucking on.
Yeah.
Stop fucking around.
Yeah, definitely.
Mate, honestly, this has been an unbelievable podcast, mate. I really fucking loved having you on. And guys, look, I hope you've got so much fucking value from that. I'll try and get Lester to ping me over some of these resources and this, that, and the other, to put the link. I'll put the links in the description to any resources that you give me.
Yeah.
But honestly, guys, I think you need to listen to that again, because there's so much to take away from that. And I wanted to really get out from Lester today, not just about the opportunity in dropshipping, which we all know is there.
Yeah.
But like the other assets and mindset pieces and things that have to come out through it in order to go and get that success. That success is guaranteed, but if you want that guaranteed success, 1, you have to never give up, and 2, you have to be willing to go for 4 or 5 years to get it.
Yep.
And I think that's the realest shit, bro. So I really appreciate that. And Lester, I'll attach your Instagram below so people can follow you as well.
Definitely.
But is there anything you got to say before we go, bro?
I don't know. I think my biggest take in like life is it's funny. It's a Spider-Man quote from, the Spider-Man into the multiverse.
Yeah.
Not the recent one, the cartoon one.
Yeah.
It was when one of them said, "Passion is unstable, logic is constant," and that's what's
passion is
unstable, logic is constant. So it's not really do what you're passionate about. Yeah, do what you're passionate about, but think of it logically. You always have to think of everything logically. Like, think of the time we have in the day. We have 24 hours in the day. You sleep for 8, you work for 8.
Yeah.
You do other stuff. You still have time left over. Ask yourself, what are you doing in that time?
Yeah.
Another thing that's also helped is What I Did Today book. So I filled that out. And when you reflect, like one day I was filling it out, bro. I wrote 3 things. Woke up, 8, played Fortnite.
Yeah.
And that's when, that's how you pick yourself up. But when you realize that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the radical honesty.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it just comes down to learning, never giving up, and just keep going. Because the thing is, it could take you 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, but you have to enjoy the journey. And I enjoy the journey.
Mate, I am enjoying this journey, and I hope I'm not long from compounding what will be a great podcast.
It's just around the corner, because when you think about it, what got you from like nobody even knew about your podcast to a lot of people knowing about your podcast, and now you're like top 5, top 3 in Australia or something?
I got to the top 6 in education in Australia last year.
Yeah, what got you there is all the stuff you were doing.
Yeah.
And what'll get you to number 1 is just keep doing it.
Yeah, mate, I've done 5.
It's the compound work.
I've done 5 podcasts this week, bro. I fucking love it.
It
lights
just
me
keep
up.
doing it.
Mate, trust me, bro. I don't, yeah, it's honestly like the amount, the plans and the amount of people and the people that are coming on here along this journey and the value that people are going to get for fucking free. Honestly, if I ever got a message and it said, Frankie, you've provided me no value on the podcast, I'd be like, what are you fucking listening to?
I think it comes down to perspective at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because just try to find the value in everything.
Yeah.
No matter who a person is, rich, poor, whatever. The homeless man gave me this great value one time about like just life in general. Like, try to find the value in everything.
Yeah.
And, that's how you just grow.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
the thing is, you need to go through that shit, because I don't know if you've ever grown, like, plants or anything, but you need to put the shit on to grow.
The way I see it is we're recording this now, and I have 70 podcasts out at this point when we're recording this. That's 70 seeds that I've planted. Mm-hmm. I'll plant another fucking 70 seeds and see where we are then. I'm going to be a little bit further ahead than what I am now. And I'll plant another 170 after that. And guess what? I'll be a little bit further ahead after that. And that's all it is, bro.
Yeah.
I'm following the same fucking process that you follow with dropshipping in podcasting. Simple as that. It's like we just all plant seeds. Every one of you that's listening to this, every fucking one of you, whether you're studying to be a fucking nurse, whether you've got a fucking fashion brand, whether you're going to start a fucking leggings company, it's the same fucking process. Mm-hmm. It's the same fucking process. Just plant the fucking seeds daily, weekly, monthly.
And you just water it.
Just keep watering it.
Because it's like a business. The more time you put into it is you watering that seed, and eventually it'll give you fruit and provide for you.
Yeah.
It'll take care of you. It'll shelter you.
Plant the trees that are... What's this fucking... How do I get this quote out? I love this quote, and I'm going to fucking ruin it. But there's a fucking famous quote, and it's like...
Do you want to search it up?
Huh?
Do you want to search it up?
No. You got to plant the trees, knowing that you might not be the one sitting under its shade.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Legacy. What's your legacy going to be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are people before us that planted trees that we now sit under to have a fucking picnic. Think about that. How's that for
that?
Just be grateful for that. There's a man out there or a woman out there that planted a tree in a park that you sit at, that you've sat under with your fucking family, and they planted it knowing full well they were never going to sit under its fucking shade.
That's why, like, personally, I hate the stigma against the 9 to 5, because at the end of the day, people have to work that 9 to 5 for the world to work. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you've got that inner calling, that inner desire where you just have to do something, go chase after it. Go for it.
Yeah, bro.
Take little steps, 1 day at a time, 2 days at a time. Do one thing today, do 2 things tomorrow, compound it. And eventually you'll break through. It's just about putting that work in and putting that time in. And eventually, because it wasn't long ago where I was scraping grills at McDonald's, and then at a Hog's Breath, I was the mascot. And then all of a sudden, I'm living in a nice apartment, living a nice life, hanging out with cool people. Yeah, it goes so quick.
You deserve all of it. You fucking deserve all of it, mate. And I just want to say, as your friend, I'm fucking proud of you. Because
make me blush.
Nah, bro, I'm serious. Because you should always be proud of what your friends achieve. Simple as that. It's simple as that. Like, it costs you nothing. And the one key takeaway I want most of you to get as well is, like, if you're older than someone and there's someone younger than you, like Lester, who's done vastly well, always be willing to listen to them, because there's always something you can learn off that. But guys, I hope to hell and back that you've had so much fucking value from this podcast that me and Lester have dropped today. If we've dropped value in your ears, do me a fucking solid favour. Share it with all your fucking friends. Put it on Instagram, share it on Instagram, share it on social media, share it on Twitter, Facebook, all this other stuff. Like, help me get this podcast into more ears if you resonate with what I'm trying to build here. And that would really help me. And message Lester on Instagram. Drop your Instagram.
Lester Javelona.
Lester Javelona. It'll be tagged here. Drop Lester a message. Drop me a message at Frankie Lee on Instagram. Let us know what you thought of the podcast. Let us know how you resonate with it. Let us know the things that you implement in your life. Like, fucking lights me up, this does. Help me put it. If you've honestly got any value out of anything I've put out in the last fucking 70 odd episodes or 80 odd episodes, whatever we are by this point, for the love of God, help me put it in more people's ears. That's all I'm asking you for, right? That is all I'm asking you for. And that was Lester Javelona. I'm fucking proud of you, bro. And much love.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Frankie Lee Podcast.